Good evening and welcome to our webinar, Building Diverse Teams, Capturing the Community's Voice. My name is Mary Ellen Kramer and I'm a Senior Health Educator here at Hamilton County Public Health. We're glad that you were able to join us. So here is a presentation overview of what we're going to be talking about in the webinar. So we're going to talk about community engagement. What is community engagement? Talk through the importance of gathering the community voice, and then what are strategies to capture the community voice, and then how do all of these help to build diverse teams within your community, and what are examples from current existing WeTHRIVE communities. So first, let's talk about community engagement. So what is community engagement? Community engagement is working collaboratively with partners and community members who share a common goal. One definition of community engagement is the process of working collaboratively with relevant partners who share common goals and interests. It involves building authentic partnerships, including mutual respect and active, inclusive participation by all, power sharing and equity, mutual benefit, or finding the win-win possibility, and the win-win possibility within the project. The emphasis on community engagement promotes a focus on the common ground and recognize that communities have important knowledge and valuable experience to add to public stakeholder discussions. And so even within your community, there are most likely components or voices within your community that are not always heard, and so community engagement is that opportunity to reach out to those individuals, to bring them to the table so their voice can be shared and heard as well. Community engagement is necessary. Engaging a community in the discussion increases everyone's level of awareness, allows individuals to advocate their ideas, offers a format to gather advice or guidance based on the community's expertise and experiences. Community engagement is needed to guide the development of a project plan by expanding or redefining the focus of the initiative, identifying unexposed information, and creating a network for sources and potential funding partners. When building the project plan, it's important to have representatives from all sectors in the community and a wide range of folks from the community to be able to get everyone's ideas and input. Community engagement also is important for stakeholders and using that opportunity to educate the stakeholders on issues and invite them to contribute to the process, thereby expanding access to available knowledge and skills. The diversity and number of stakeholders are increased, which means there are more people to do the work. And when we think of stakeholders, those can be anyone within the community that has a vested interest in the project. And so as we talk about the WeTHRIVE initiative, those stakeholders is anyone within the community, a community member, a business, an organization, a faith-based organization, a school that has a vested interest in helping to enhance the overall health, safety, and vitality of that community. And so really that's a pretty wide focus. So as you start beginning community engagement and getting out in the community, you'll be able to see what all these other folks are interested in, as well as what other organizations are doing around health, safety, and vitality within the community to be able to partner and expand and enhance the efforts. When stakeholders are engaged at the beginning and throughout the project, people appear to, 1, become more receptive to the outcome, 2, communities have the capacity to implement the change, and 3, are able to maintain long-term partnerships, which is beneficial for years to come. So as we talk about some community engagement, it's important just to kind of start with some guiding principles. So whether you are an organization going in and trying to work with the community for the first time, or if you're WeTHRIVE team members, council members who are trying to engage other sectors of your community, these are just some important principles to think about as we begin community engagement. 1, attention to histories and discrimination and marginalization needs to be recognized within the community. This is really helpful as you go to approach those groups to know kind of that history between that group and your organization, that group of individuals and the government within the community, and just really being able to acknowledge that, excuse me, and to be able to move forward. There should be transparent discussion of power. As we talk about community engagement and engaging all sectors of the community, everyone should have equal power. Everyone has a voice that is important, and so no one person should have more power than the other. You will want to document community strengths and local knowledge. Community members are the most knowledgeable folks, and they are the expert when it comes to their community and their experiences. And so as you're trying to engage them in your WeTHRIVE teams, as you expand out, it's important to acknowledge and document. It's important to acknowledge as well as document that local knowledge and those strengths. Encourage cooperation. The more cooperation across the board, the larger the impact and the more individuals that you'll have working together to help enhance the work that you're doing within the WeTHRIVE initiative. Identify opportunities for co-learning. Everyone that comes to the table brings different strengths and has different knowledge based on their experience, their education, where they've lived. So everyone should come with open minds and be willing to learn from others. And so that opportunity always exists within community engagement, and it's important to identify those opportunities and take advantage of those opportunities to learn from each other. And then the last guiding principle is build capacity, focus on systems development and sustainability. The ultimate goal is to create a sustainable WeTHRIVE team within your community. And so as you're engaging communities and bringing them to the table, it's important to kind of keep that in mind of how we're going to maintain this and what is that sustainability plan. So why should we want to spend time and energy getting the community's voice? Why does it matter? It enables the WeTHRIVE team and other potential organizations and the community as well to discover the views of all community members. So not just the community members that look like you or live near you, but all sectors of the community. It helps build a sense of community, belonging, respect, and trust among everyone in the community. So residents who don't always have a voice or are often felt left out. And so by bringing them to the table and hearing their voice, you're helping build a sense of community with them and helping to build trust with other individuals in the community. It helps create support and buy-in for the WeTHRIVE initiative, which is always helpful and important because if you can expand the number of folks that support the WeTHRIVE initiative and the work that you're doing within your community, the more hands you have to help work on those projects and expand the work that you're doing. It creates more innovative and effective solutions. As I mentioned before, community members are the experts in their community and in their experiences that they live day to day. As we bring more people to the table and allow them to have a voice, it allows for collaboration and for more ideas to be solved. And so hearing directly from individuals who live in that situation on a daily basis, they're going to be able to help tell you what is going to work in that sector of their community or for that potential issue that has been identified and potentially what's not going to work. But then working together, you can create innovative solutions that will work. And the last one is that it creates empowerment and that all residents feel welcome and that they belong and that they're valued within their community. and then they feel like they have a part to do as well, and they're empowered to become a part of the solution and a part of the WeTHRIVE initiative. It's important, as I mentioned before, that the community power is shared between the different and diverse groups so that everyone has a piece of that power, and not one person has all the power or not one organization has all the power. So we've talked about kind of what community engagement is and why it's important to bring diverse folks to the table and have all sectors of the community represented. But how you actually go about doing that is what we're going to talk through next. So we're going to talk through 5 different strategies for community engagement and how you might be able to implement these within your own community. So the first one is one-on-one interviews. And so these are interviews between yourself as a WeTHRIVE team member and other individuals, residents within the community. They're informal meetings and conversations. It's an opportunity to connect with community members, connect with different sectors of the community, and bring everyone together. So as you are connecting with these community members, you are kind of identifying who they are, what is their relationship to the identified problem, be it safety, health, or vitality within the community. What other relationships do they have within the community, and what other connections could they help you make? It's an opportunity to learn about potential ideas and solutions they have, as well as where does their interest lie, and how can that interest align with the work that your WeTHRIVE team is doing. Really, the focus of one-on-one interviews is to build relationships. And so you may not get all the information underneath that second bullet in the first interview, and that's okay. Interviews should be about 45 minutes to an hour, and sometimes you have to have multiple interviews to be able to gather all of the information that we've identified. So to kind of help you out a little bit, there are 3 elements of a successful one-on-one interview. The first part being the introduction. This tells the person who you're meeting with the purpose of the meeting, who you represent, and why you want to meet with them. This helps to provide a framework for the person you are interviewing and why you're there to talk to them so that they have some context and understand where you're coming from. The second part of the interview is a conversation. The conversation is about building relationships by encouraging the person you are interviewing to speak as much as they can about themselves, their interests, their joys, their concerns. Stories can be great ways and a great way to start the conversation and a way to help make that person that you're interviewing feel more comfortable. So it's a good way to kind of introduce yourself a little bit, to break the air, help them feel more comfortable. But ultimately, the person you're interviewing should be doing the bulk of the talking. You want to learn from them. You want to know who they are. You want to know what their passion is and where that lies, and kind of connect on that human level as well. And then the third part of the interview is next steps. You want to close the interview by identifying next steps while leaving open the potential for future meetings. Be very clear and specific as to the next steps and what you need from them in follow-up in case anything came up, like they were going to connect you with someone else in the community. In follow-up meetings with this individual, you can hopefully get them connected to your WeTHRIVE team and have them join in. But the first conversation should be all about them and learning about them. So how WeTHRIVE teams could use one-on-one interviews, you can use them to gain community input within your action plans. Community concerns could be identified through these interviews that could be addressed by the WeTHRIVE team. You could learn what others in the community are doing to identify ways to partner and maximize your efforts. And then lastly, you could identify new team members as you get to know them in those second and third interviews. So again, it's really just an informal conversation. It's a way to get to know the person It can be an interview in a coffee shop, in, Village Hall, at a park if it's a nice day. There really is no structure to this. It's just getting to know that person. So the next strategy that could be used are key stakeholder interviews. These interviews are slightly more structured than the one-on-one interviews. These are interviews with mission-critical roles within the community as they relate to the work of the WeTHRIVE team. They focus on content, so you're meeting with these individuals for their knowledge that they have within a specific area. It also allows an opportunity to take a deeper dive on sensitive topics and really learn more from that individual's perspective of what the opportunities are, what the challenges are, what concerns they have about those topics. And I think it's important to remember that key stakeholders doesn't always equal the individual in charge. There are key stakeholders in every sector of the community, be it a resident, a faith-based organization, a pastor, a police officer. There are those key stakeholders, and so through the process of kind of the one-on-one interviews and talking with other people, you should be able to help identify what those and who those key stakeholders are. As you're holding your key stakeholder interviews, it's important to look at and interview key stakeholders from various sectors within the community. This will help you to get a broader view of the community and get the perspective of more individuals. Key stakeholder interviews can be a great opportunity to engage folks within the various agencies in your community with the WeTHRIVE work. Sometimes as you're doing key stakeholder interviews, you may be meeting with senior management or senior leadership of an agency, and so it's a great opportunity to engage them in the WeTHRIVE work. It can also be helpful to do key stakeholder interviews in multiple sectors within the community, but to have multiple interviews within one sector. This also ensures that you get a broad view and not only the opinions of a single individual. At the end of your interviews, you can ask for the names of other stakeholders that you could talk to. With the key stakeholder interviews, they're typically a little bit, like we said, they're more formal, and so there's typically a list of questions that are asked at every key stakeholder interview. So this helps to ensure that you're getting the same information from all of the key stakeholders. There is always an opportunity for them to add something at the end or to share something that they feel like is important that maybe didn't get addressed in one of the questions. So how can a WeTHRIVE team use this to engage folks within their work? So it can be used to identify partners to be on the team or to provide some support to the work of the WeTHRIVE team. You can learn concerns from key stakeholders within the community and kind of get an understanding of where they think maybe the WeTHRIVE initiatives could focus or what some of the most compelling concerns are to them about the health, safety, and vitality of the community. And lastly, it's an opportunity to identify champions to help spread the WeTHRIVE initiative and the word about WeTHRIVE within the community. So if you're able to connect with a key stakeholder that's very passionate about a specific issue, and that issue aligns with the work of your WeTHRIVE team, then you've identified yourself another champion, which is great because it's another person to help with the work. The next strategy is going door to door. Going door to door is an opportunity to get out into the community and to meet your neighbors. It's a great opportunity to network within the community. It also helps to put a face on the initiative to residents and other folks in the community who've maybe heard about WeTHRIVE or seen information about a WeTHRIVE meeting or a WeTHRIVE sign, but really have no idea what WeTHRIVE is. It helps put a face to it and helps make it a little bit more real. It allows team members or organizations to connect with neighbors and learn more about them and learn their story. It's an opportunity to talk with community members about their interests and their concerns in a non-formal way in a very casual conversation. There's power in listening to the individuals and listening to those who live within the communities. Individuals love to tell their story when they're asked and when they have an opportunity. And again, that's another way to connect as humans. So the WeTHRIVE team can use going door to door in a couple of ways. The first way is it's a great way to create presence of the WeTHRIVE team in the community and really, again, put that face to the WeTHRIVE initiative and make it seem real to community members. There's an opportunity to meet new team members as you go door to door and connect with residents. It can increase the interest of what the WeTHRIVE team is doing and the activities among residents in the community or community members and encourage more folks to participate and come on out. And then again, this is another way to find new leaders and or champions or individuals who really want to be involved but didn't know how to be involved because they didn't know what WeTHRIVE was. So it's a great way to get connected with those individuals and make them a part of your WeTHRIVE team within your community. The next community engagement strategy are community forums or town hall meetings. So these are gatherings of community residents around a specific topic or concern. It's important to identify the intent of the town hall meeting from the beginning. Is the town hall meeting going to focus on a specific topic, like violence within the community, or is it going to be a broader topic of come learn about WeTHRIVE and what WeTHRIVE is within our community, and as well as an opportunity to get concerns from residents and feedback during that town hall meeting. So town hall meetings allow residents and community members to share their thoughts, concerns, and ideas. It helps to understand the needs and resources of different groups in the community. So in the different sectors, in the different groups of the community, everyone is going to have different resources that they're able to bring to the table to help work as a part of the WeTHRIVE initiative, but then they're also going to have different needs. And so town hall meetings can be an opportunity to begin to understand those needs and resources. And town hall meetings are also another great opportunity to gather stories of community members and to start conversations. A really key part of community engagement is building relationships, and you build relationships through connecting with community members and getting to know them through stories and conversations. So in terms of the format of the town hall meeting, you could have a panel of key leaders that introduce the initiative and then kind of open it up to the community members that are present to gather feedback from individuals. You could also have community members broken into smaller groups and allow them in the small groups to have conversation around specific issues. And then they can rotate small groups to be able to talk to multiple people. And then at the end, what was discussed in the small groups is presented back. Maybe the small groups, each small group is a different concern within the community. And so during that small group time, residents have to come together and, first kind of gain an understanding of that concern, but then come up with ideas and solutions to address that concern as well as resources needed. So it can be a great way to get a lot of community members on potential issues or concerns your WeTHRIVE team was looking to address and get their input on what potential solutions could be. Kind of some key points as you're looking to plan a town hall meeting. If you're holding multiple town town hall meetings or community forums, it could be helpful to hold those meetings at different sites within the community to be able to get as much participation as possible. You want to schedule the forum or the meeting at an easy-to-find public location, which is accessible and comfortable. If possible, hold the forum in the evening and or on the weekend to avoid time conflicts with work and school. You'll want to publicize the forum as wide as possible. You could use flyers, advertisements, public service announcements as you partner with your village or township, press releases. All of those things are great ways, going door to door, sending flyers home with at school children. And then lastly, WeTHRIVE team members will want to personally recruit community leaders and diverse community members to attend the meeting. And as you're recruiting individuals, ask those individuals to bring a friend or a family member who might be interested. It's a great way to connect with people that you didn't know or weren't sure if they were interested in WeTHRIVE. So how can WeTHRIVE team members use community forums or town hall meetings? You could do a community forum that is a WeTHRIVE information session as a way to share information about WeTHRIVE to residents and community members in the hopes of having them join the WeTHRIVE initiative. It's a way to present data or potential goals to community members to get their feedback on direction and maybe what activities you should do or get new ideas for how to address that concern. And again, it can be done around a specific topic to get the community's input on activities, goals, timelines, where in the community you should focus as well. And like the other strategies, it's a great way to find new team members with passion for different topics. And so as you are identifying these new team members who have, that passion, you will be able to expand the number of community residents or community members you have on the team and expand the focus of the team. Another opportunity within the community for engagement and to engage individuals is Photovoice. And Photovoice is one of my favorite community engagement strategies. So community members use cameras to take pictures as assets and opportunities within the community. We all know a picture is worth 1,000 words and can, say way more than we can say in writing. As you give community members the cameras, you can ask them to kind of do it around a specific issue. Let's say you wanted to look at sidewalks and kind of the walkability of the community. You could ask community members to go out and take pictures of sidewalks and where they live, or how do they walk to work, to school, to the park. What are those barriers that they face? Or you can just kind of do it as a community as a whole and encourage community members to go out and take pictures of what they think are assets within that community, as well as what they feel are opportunities within that community for improvement. So there is a model called SHOWED, which is a great way and a good guide to discuss photo voices in small groups. And so afterwards, you have community members go out and take pictures, and then as you have the pictures, you always want to make sure that there is kind of that follow-up and the opportunity for community members to explain and share why they took that picture and why it's important to them. So SHOWED is one way to guide that discussion. So when you use SHOWED, you start with kind of talking about what do you see in the photo, what is happening in the photo, how does this relate to our lives, why does this issue exist, how can we become empowered with our new social understanding, and what can we do to address these issues. So not only do you get the perspective of the individual who took the picture, but you get the perspective of of everyone else in the room to kind of get their feedback and thoughts as well. Pictures show and tell the community story of progress and change, especially when Photovoice is done multiple times or is done after achieving action plan goals. If you take pictures before and then take pictures after you've implemented something, then you're able to document as well as show the community the improvements and the enhancements that the WeTHRIVE team has been working on. Photovoice is also a great activity to engage youth and help them, and as a strategy to help them tell their story and what their concerns are for the community as well. And then finally, pictures can be presented to the WeTHRIVE team. Community members could come to the WeTHRIVE team to present. You could take it to council or trustees meetings, school board, or parents. There's lots of opportunities and avenues to present the pictures. Those were just a few suggestions. So how could WeTHRIVE teams use Photovoice? They could use it to get input from community members on the direction of the team and what the team may want to focus on. Photovoice is a great way to get the input of individuals who maybe do not feel comfortable speaking English or English is a second language for them. It can help to reduce language barriers because, in a picture you're able to kind of tell what they're trying to say. It's an opportunity to see community members' perspective. So you're seeing exactly what they see, which really can help to clarify and really get you to understand what that perspective is. And getting input through Photovoice can encourage community members to participate on the WeTHRIVE team, which is kind of that ultimate goal. And again, it's also an opportunity to find new team members that have a passion for different topics, like we talked about in the town hall meetings, and that maybe your WeTHRIVE team is focused on a certain topic, but you know that there are other individuals out there who have passions for different topics. So as you expand to those different topics or think about working on those different topics, you already have residents that you're ready to engage. Sharing the feedback with the entire community as a whole can gather even more interest. So if you have a big community event where you're sharing all of these photos, similar to kind of a town hall meeting that we just talked about, it's another great way to put a presence to WeTHRIVE and to put a face to WeTHRIVE within the community. And lastly, like we talked about, if photos are taken at different stages of implementation, photos will show the progress and help others to see the impact of WeTHRIVE in the community. For some individuals, it can be kind of hard to see the impact of WeTHRIVE or the work that WeTHRIVE is doing within the community. And so by having those pictures and having that documentation, you can help them to see those changes. So those are kind of some key community engagement strategies that we had identified that we thought could be beneficial for WeTHRIVE teams as you're looking to expand and build diverse teams. So benefits of using community engagement strategies include it connects you to residents and community members. You get to know each other. It's an opportunity to learn from others' perspectives in the community and an opportunity to learn from each other. A lot of the community engagement strategies help to build WeTHRIVE's presence in the community and really help to put a face to the initiative. The WeTHRIVE teams can gain ideas for action plans or activities through these community engagement strategies and really begin to understand and get feedback from more community members and from community members of all sectors of the community. And it helps to develop relationships with individuals to build diverse teams. So how do we go about building diverse teams, and why do we want, diverse teams? So it's important. So as we talk about creating diverse teams, One of the goals of the WeTHRIVE initiative is to create a community-wide movement that enhances the health, safety, and vitality of the community. To truly be a community-wide movement, the WeTHRIVE team should be diverse to ensure all aspects of the community are represented and have a voice. And that's really why you want to have diverse teams, is you want every different sector, every different resident or individual in that community to feel like that they have an opportunity through the WeTHRIVE initiative to share their voice and to be heard. So how do you know if your team should be diverse? So your WeTHRIVE teams should be reflective of the community makeup, of your community makeup, and include individuals from all sectors. Diversity is not only about race, it's not only black and white, female, male, gay and straight, Jewish and Christian, young and old, but the diversity of every individual, slow learner or fast learner, introvert or extrovert, controlling type and people type, scholar and sports person, liberal and conservative. So as you can see, we are all different. Diversity exists in lots of different avenues. And so your WeTHRIVE team should really look to bring that diversity that exists within your community to life. If there are a good percentage of Hispanics on your community, then maybe, we want to make sure that you have Hispanics, on the WeTHRIVE team. You also, you want to look at age. Do you have youth represented on your WeTHRIVE team? Do you have sectors, representatives from police or the school or a faith-based organization? Those are all as we talk about shouldn't be reflective of the community makeup. That's what we're referring to, and your WeTHRIVE health educators can help you to understand what your community makeup is and maybe where there are opportunities for enhancements within your team. Diversity is understanding, valuing, and using the difference in every person to make an even greater impact within your community. It's also important that extra effort be made to engage minorities within your community and or the underserved to really make sure that they are at the table and that they have a voice. So as we talk about community sectors, I know I've mentioned that multiple times on this presentation today. This is what we're referring to. So there's lots of different people within communities, and they all represent a different group or a different sector. So key groups that you want to engage using those community engagement strategies, but also bring onto your team to help build that diverse team could include schools, senior citizens, service organizations, parents, social services, law enforcement, government, businesses, religious organizations, medical, youth, and the media. And not all these sectors are going to be in every community or be represented within each community, and that's okay. It's figuring out what sectors exist within your community and making sure that they are represented within your team. As you look to build diverse teams and engage new folks, it's all about building relationship. All of the community engagement strategies that we talked about earlier on this webinar help to build relationships. It's making connections with other individuals in the community. Trust is key in getting individuals to join the team, and trust is created through building relationships, to listening to those individuals and making them feel like they are heard and that they are valued. It's important, as you're building these relationships to meet the individuals where they are. Maybe it's going to where they live or to where they work, but also where they are in joining the WeTHRIVE team. Don't push it on them in the very beginning if they're not as interested. Show you are interested in what's happening in their life and what concerns are. So as we talked about those one-on-one interviews, you're just getting, the goal is to learn more about that person. And as you build relationships, that's what really gets those relationships off the ground, is you learning more about that individual, learning where their passions lie, learning what potential concerns they have in their life or in the community, and working with them to address those concerns and to come up with solutions that will work. So as you build these relationships, they will be key not only to bring people onto the WeTHRIVE team to create a diverse team, but to also keep them on the team and maintain that relationship. But really, as we're building relationships, it all comes down to common values and emotions. We've already discovered that on the surface, we're not similar because we are all diverse. But the similarity between us are our emotions. They are equal. All over the world, we get angry, afraid, sad, ashamed, surprised, confused, disgusted, or happy. And often we feel these emotions through similar situations. We experience rejection, disappointment, danger, loss, gratitude, connection, safety, or being gifted. All of these situations happen to us. They all happen in different ways or intensities, and we react to each situation differently, but the situations remain similar. And further, the opinions that we carry are emotionally strong and relevant. We connect on those situations. We connect on our emotions. Building those diverse teams is building trust and relationships like we just talked about. A key way to build those relationships is to identify and connect on the common values and emotions between you as an individual and the residents or community members you're looking to engage. Values and emotions link all humans together and often can transcend differences. Really, at the core, our hearts are all the same. And so it's reminding and bringing that to the forefront in community team meetings, that we are the same. While we may look different or come from different backgrounds or have different jobs or different experiences, at the core, our hearts are still the same. So I think with this, it's important to take time in team meetings to allow individuals to share their stories and who they are as a person. This not only allows you to get to know that person even better, but it allows team members to connect and realize the similarities they have with everyone on the team. And as you bring new team members on, you can create that environment of sharing and feeling safe sharing your story by having, current team members share their story and who they are. And really, again, it goes back to those values and emotions and connecting as humans. We are all humans trying to make a difference within our communities. And if we remember that as we're looking to engage diverse folks or folks that may differ than what we look like, we will be successful in engaging and creating those diverse teams. So let's look at a few examples of how current WeTHRIVE teams have used some of those community engagement strategies to, within their own community, to help build and diversify their team. So Lockland held a WeTHRIVE information session, very similar to a community forum or a town hall meeting. What they did is they provided an overview of the WeTHRIVE initiative to be able to introduce it to individuals, and then updated the community members and residents who came on what the team had been working on over the past year. And then opened it up to kind of those residents that were there to get their feedback in terms of what would they like to see the WeTHRIVE team doing, what are concerns that they have. And the team got some great feedback that allowed them to kind of solidify and know that the direction that they were going in was important to more people within the community and not just the folks that were on the WeTHRIVE team, and that the Lockland residents would support them as we kind of continue to look at and address that topic. So they recruited community members through flyers, sending flyers out with the school kids to get home to parents, posting flyers in churches, in social service organizations, at businesses, really every and anywhere in the community. There was multiple one-on-one conversations with individuals to let them know what was going on and to have that personal invite to attend the event. A few folks went door to door to hand out some flyers or to pass flyers out. And like I said, we partnered with the school to help get the information out. So this is just an example of how communities could host a town hall or a community forum, but on the same time still use some of those other community engagement strategies like one-on-one conversations and going door to door to help recruit individuals, not just for the WeTHRIVE team, but initially to help them attend the information session. As we're going out and engaging community members and residents, it's always important to remember that there should be an ask. What are we engaging them for? Do we want them to attend a town hall meeting? Do we want them to fill out a survey? Are we asking them to join the WeTHRIVE team? So that's always important to keep in mind. And so for this group, the goal of the recruitment and kind of engaging with community members, residents, and businesses was to invite them to attend the WeTHRIVE information session to learn more. And the second example is looking for partner agencies within the community to be able to align efforts and expand the impact of the work. So the Woodlawn WeTHRIVE team and Active Woodlawn came together. Team members from the Woodlawn WeTHRIVE team identified that there was a clear connection between their team's work and the work of Active Woodlawn. So they reached out to the group and they invited them to a meeting to kind of talk about how could we have this partnership. The WeTHRIVE team came to a consensus and agreed to partner with Active Woodlawn, whose chair then became a member of the Woodlawn's WeTHRIVE team. And really this allowed and opened up the possibility for ideas, feedback, and volunteers to be shared amongst the two groups to accomplish the overall goal of both groups of community wellness. So because they had similar missions and activities, there was great alignment. And if Woodlawn WeTHRIVE team members weren't kind of out in the community and looking for different avenues for partnership and kind of keeping a pulse on what was happening in their community, they would not have been aware of the Active Woodlawn organization, and this partnership may not have happened. But, you know, what did come of this is that the WeTHRIVE team for Woodlawn, their chair, attended an annual event hosted by Active Woodlawn, and this was an opportunity to recruit volunteers for a community garden within Woodlawn. So individuals that attended the event that were interested filled out recruitment cards, and in exchange for kind of signing up and agreeing to help, they received a meal card. And so by having the recruitment cards at the table, the WeTHRIVE team was able to follow up with the individuals afterwards to have those one-on-one conversations to explain more about WeTHRIVE and the community garden and bring them on board and have them join as a member of the WeTHRIVE team. So this is an example of kind of engaging a partner within the community that will help support the work that the WeTHRIVE team is doing by not only, potentially bringing on additional folks and support staff that could help the initiative, but, every agency in the community is going to draw from a different network of community members. And so by partnering together, you're able to expand the network of community members that you are working with as the WeTHRIVE team and partner together and, again, get the WeTHRIVE initiative out there. We've talked a lot about community engagement and its importance and the different strategies of community engagement, as well as why community engagement is so important, because it's important for those diverse teams so that all individuals and sectors within the community feel valued, feel like they have a voice in what's happening in their community, and that they have an opportunity to share that voice and be heard by a group looking to enhance the health, safety, and vitality of their community, which is, your WeTHRIVE teams within your communities. As we look to build diverse teams, it can be a little scary for some people, or maybe just you're not sure what to do because you're looking to engage folks who are different from you, that have a different background, come from a different background or a different country, work in a different job than you do, and that's a completely normal reaction. The important part is to not let that concern or that uneasiness feeling stop you from going out and engaging. Because as we talked about, at the core, all of our hearts are the same. We all share the same emotions and the same values, and so it's really just connecting with those individuals as humans and not letting the differences stand between you and that individual and not, getting to know them. And as you start to engage them, at the very beginning, it does not have to be, come join our WeTHRIVE team, or this is what WeTHRIVE is doing, and this is why we want you to participate. In the beginning, as you build that relationship and build trust, it's getting to know them. What are they doing in the community? What concerns do they have? Have they heard about WeTHRIVE? What ideas do they have? And really getting to know who they are as a person and connecting with them as humans. And then as you continue to have those conversations and continue to build those relationships, you can hopefully get them connected into the WeTHRIVE team in your community and get them connected to a specific activity or project that your team is working on that aligns with their values and their emotions and aligns with what they're passionate about. Because if they're passionate about it, then they have a vested interest and they're going to continue to participate. So I know that this is a lot of information to digest at once and can be a little overwhelming in the beginning, and that's okay. That's where we come in at, Hamilton County Public Health and the WeTHRIVE Health Educators, as we come in to help provide support as you're looking to build and diversify your team as well as engage those various sectors. So what kind of support do we have? So I mentioned the recruitment cards within the example for Woodlawn. So we can get recruitment cards to you that briefly explain the initiative, and it's an opportunity for residents, community members to share their contact information with you so you can follow up with them. Recruitment cards are often good for events, town hall meetings, anytime where you're going to be interacting with a lot of people and you want them to have the opportunity to share their contact information with you so that you can follow up and get to know them even more after the event. We have little pocket cards that are about the size of a credit card that open up that explain what the WeTHRIVE initiative is It explains the different pathways of the WeTHRIVE initiative, and it's just another tool that WeTHRIVE teams can use as they're going out into their community to talk about WeTHRIVE. If you're doing one-on-one interviews, just having informal conversations, if you're going door to door at town hall meetings, really these pocket cards can be used with any of the community engagement strategies that we talked about today. We have WeTHRIVE swag materials, which are T-shirts, water bottles, drawstring bags. We have a limited supply of this, but if you're having a town hall meeting or if you're having a community event and are kind of looking for a way to entice people to come over and learn more about the initiative or to sign up to be a part of it or to have follow-up conversations, then we can look at potentially providing some of those swag materials for you. For any of those 3 items that I just talked about, feel free to reach out to your WeTHRIVE health educator to learn more, but to also then request the order form so that we could get those materials out to you. So the health educators are here to help support you, but we also have a community engagement contractor who's here to help your teams do exactly what we talked about during this webinar today. So it's a great resource for the teams, and I encourage all of the teams to consider utilizing her, those services for potential projects. So again, reach out to your health educator to kind of talk through and see what you're thinking of and if that might be a good fit for the community engagement contractor to help provide some additional support. So as we wrap up here at the end, there's an opportunity for questions. If you are on the webinar live, you can write them in the chat box. If you are listening to this webinar on YouTube, you can reach out to myself. You can email me or reach out to your health educator. You could also email on the website watchusthrive.org. There's a contact us section. Feel free to type your question in there and send it in, and we'll make sure to get back to you with any questions that you might have. So thank you for listening and participating. I hope that there was some helpful information that you were able to take away from this in terms of potential strategies that you could use to engage new residents, but also more importantly, the importance of building diverse teams and the importance of kind of connecting as humans. So thanks again, and have a great day.